Hello, my name is Maggie Kipley, and this is my Capstone project presentation on Philips Healthcare onboarding process for BAS 495. So the problem that I'm seeing within the company I work for is a lack of standards on the onboarding process for new hires that are going to be field service engineers within the company. So the field service engineers that I'm referring to are the ones that work on ventilators, defibrillators, and MR patient monitoring systems. Currently, new employees go to the training center for about a week, and then they go back to their home territory where their mentor that is assigned to them then teaches them everything that they need to know in order to be successful in the field. There is no standard that these mentors have to maintain or go any process that they really look at or checklist that they have in order to train these new employees up to standard and to be able to have a consistent training that all field engineers have to go through in order to be able to be ready to be on their own in the field. So how might I question is how might I change the process that Philips uses for their onboarding new employees? So the justification for this Capstone project, this is the first impression that new employees are given of Philips because it's their first time being exposed to the company, and it's really their first week of on the job is in this training class that they have to go to at the training center. Then past that, it goes on to the mentors, and depending upon your mentor, you could have a very different experience from one person to the next. This also affects the work performance of these new employees because if they're not trained properly in the beginning, then they very well may keep those habits, those bad habits, for their entire career with Philips. Having a standard practice would allow these employees to get up to speed faster and be able to be in the field alone and taking care of their own equipment. This will then produce more money for the company because when they are still in training, these new employees are not making the company any money. They're only costing the company money until they're fully trained and able to work by themselves. The information will be used for the whole company, for their whole career. This information will be used for their whole career at Philips, and it is important that they learn it from the beginning so that they create good habits and are able to move up within the company and to progress throughout their career. This is also an opportunity for me to show my abilities and my skills as to how I can look at a problem, find a solution, articulate that solution to somebody, make a plan, and then implement that plan in order to improve the company. I feel this will help me be able to maintain or to be able to obtain a management position because it shows that I'm able to look at a problem and move forward with a solution to that problem, which is something that a manager must be able to do because it's such a remote type of job that I do, that I don't go to an office every day and I rarely see my coworkers. So analyzing the problem, right now there's a lack of a checklist. There's a lack of any form of accountability for these mentors in order to be able to know what they should be doing and how they should be training these new employees to be successful in the field. The problem is being caused by the training managers and the regional managers because they haven't taken an initiative to create a standard for these mentors. These mentors were not trained to be mentors. They just were told that they have to train a new person in. So there's no specific training that they're going through in order to know how to train someone in the field. I'm sure, as many of you are aware, many people can be really good at teaching people and some can be really bad at it. And if you get someone that's bad, that's going to affect your whole career at Philips. So I propose that we use a test group, which will be the field service engineers and the patient monitoring group, which is where I work. These people will be the ones that go through the checklist and will be the test group to be able to see how well it works and where we need to make adjustments for the future to be able to implement company-wide. Either the training has to improve or the service will suffer or continue to suffer because customers have noticed that there is a difference between different field engineers and only want certain ones because they know that the job that's going to be done is going to be done at a higher proficiency and just better overall. The stakeholders in for this project are the regional managers, the sales personnel, and Philips as a whole. The regional service managers are going to be the ones that are in charge of these field service engineers. The sales personnel are the people that are trying to sell the equipment, which if they're not having good, if the customers have not experienced good service within Philips in the past, they're less likely to be able to move forward and buy from Philips in the future. And it also affects Philips as a whole as a business, because they will be either generating more money or losing money because no one is going to be buying their equipment in the future. So the innovative solutions, I came up with 4 different solutions. So the first one is a checklist and modifying the PowerPoint that is used right now in that training class. I feel that this is the best option because it'd be the most cost effective and it'd be the easiest to implement throughout all of the field. This checklist needs to have due dates based on how long the employee has been at the company. Such as an example is that by 2 weeks, you should be able to do documentation and be able to put down your time on the work orders that you've been doing. Another option is for the company to do nothing, to maintain and continue on with what they're doing right now. This would be financially the best option for the company in the short term, but in the long term, it would be the worst option. Clearly, things aren't working well for right now because customers have started to complain and notice that things are not going smoothly and that their service is suffering. By doing nothing, Philips is not addressing this issue that they're having. Another option is to create a team that's responsible for the training and would have to go out and work with these new employees in the field to be able to get them up to speed. This would cause people to be taken out of their current positions and having to go to training. They would also lose touch with how the field works because it is constantly changing. Another option is a virtual training. This is a good option. However, then it would take away the connections that you make and the networking that you're able to do when you're at your initial training. You meet a lot of people within the company, and it allows you to make those connections for the future, which will hopefully help you move up within the company if that is something that you're looking at, which for me it was. So that was a crucial part of my training. So in conclusion, there needs to be a change, and the training needs to be improved. If it doesn't, the service will continue to suffer at Philips, and customers will continue to go to other companies for their medical equipment because they know that the service that's going to be provided will be better. This will also allow field service engineers to be on their own sooner and be able to take care of their own accounts and have their customers that they have an established relationship with sooner, thus making Philips money sooner. And it will also help demonstrate my abilities as to how I can look at a problem, find a solution, articulate my solution to that problem, and then implement it. In this case, it's in the field, but this will help me to be able to show my upper management and for when I'm applying for another job, an example of what I'm able to do to be able to improve the group of people that I'm working with. Thank you for listening.